So greetings everyone, welcome in this new live. I hope that you had a great week, that everything went well, that you had great practice, played a lot of Huushuur. So as there is a lot of questions that were asked on the Discord this week, I will get straight into the questions. So the first question is from Cicero. It's first impression after coming to Mongolia. Was it a simple trip or was it to move there? And how did you adapt to Mongolia? So it was actually just a simple trip. I came in 2014 and it was just to visit. After I've been playing the Huushuur for a few months, I felt that I had to see the country, to see where these instruments were coming from. So I came in Mongolia just for simple months to visit the country. I actually extended to 2 months, and at the end of the 2 months, I kind of decided to leave here. So I almost didn't go back to France. And so that was just a simple trip. And my first impression when I came in Mongolia, actually, I was very frustrated in a way. Hello, Alpha. I was kind of frustrated because I felt cheated in a way. In France, what I could see about Mongolia was always, the very wide steppe, the nomadic life, the nomadic people, the animals and everything. And when I came in Mongolia, I was of course in Ulaanbaatar. And it was just a city, a gray city with ton of road. There were not really that much people wearing the del, the traditional clothes. There were tons of cars everywhere. So I was like, damn, did I came in the right place? So the first week I actually stayed in Ulaanbaatar and I felt a little bit depressed. Hello, says I felt a little bit depressed because it was all about the city. And after a week, I went to the countryside. I went to Hoft, so the land of the Huumii in Mongolia. And then I felt, okay, that's the right place. There is the nomadic life. There is the gear, the white steppe. There is like all these very amazing things that I could see and hear in the videos back in France. So after a week of kind of like depression, not really depression, that might be a little bit too much, but after a week of a lot of questioning, going to the countryside really made me fall in love a lot with the country, with the culture, with the land, with the music, the people, the mindset of the people. So that kind of connect with that last part of the question. How did I adapt to the, hey Robert, how are you? How did I adapt to the Mongolian life, to the Mongolian spirit? Hello Denise, thanks for coming. So that's a very interesting question, how to adapt to Mongolia as a French person, because there is a lot of difference in the culture. For example, I always take that example, and usually Mongolian kind of like laugh a little bit about it. In France, if I go to the bank to take money or whatever, everyone would just wait patiently in the queue. In Mongolia, if I am talking to the cashier, that would be just normal that a person would just come in the middle of the conversation between the cashier and me and ask a simple question. And in the beginning, when I would see that, I would feel like kind of offensed, and I was like, damn, there is, it's very rude to do this. But the thing is that for Mongolia and in Mongolia, everything is very freestyle, very relaxed. So what I could see in the beginning with French eyes as an act of rudeness, if I could say. I understood later that it's just a way of being very relaxed and just enjoy the moment and ask something right now, and then it's fine. And the thing is that if I would do the same, usually Mongolian, they would not really be offended that much, because it's kind of like a normal custom, almost like very a lot of freestyle, a lot of relaxed behavior. So how to adapt? It was trying to stay open-minded and to accept that there is a lot of cultural behavior, cultural differences, and understand what these behaviors means for Mongolian person. So kind of get into the Mongolian shoes and understand that maybe for French this is rude, but for Mongolian that's very normal. There is absolutely no offense intended. It's just a way of being. So it's kind of learning the custom, learning the culture, learning how people think here. And then after a while, it's just like, oh, okay, that's just how it is. So now it's been 6 years I'm in Mongolia, so I guess I'm kind of like a fish in the ocean, in the sea. So that would be the answer for that. So I hope that answers the question. So for the next question from GHiOM, also from Discord, it's what is the best month to visit Mongolia? So of course, the best month would be July in summer, because we will have great weather, and also because there is the Nadam celebration. So the Nadam is the big celebration in Mongolia, which have like a horse racing, wrestling competition, and archery. So that's for 3 days, and that's very epic, I would say. And coming in July also will allow you to go through the country and see multiple Nadam, multiple festivals. So you can stay in UB to see the main event, and then you can go in the countryside in small province and just see the local little festival, which are also quite great to see. It's more intimate. It's the vibe is really great. There is singing everywhere, and there is people resting there. On the other side, there is this horse racing going on, and it's on open step, open space. So it's very interesting. And have you ever eaten Huushuur, and what's your opinion on it? Tasty. So yeah, of course, I've eaten a lot of Huushuur, especially during the Nadam. They are very delicious. But I like the homemade Huushuur better, because usually they are also made with this shartos. The if I translate literally, that would mean the yellow butter or yellow oil. So that's made by nomads, and when the Huushuur is fried in this oil, it's like so amazing and very good. Alpha is now asking a question about what initially made me come to Mongolia. I actually answered this question in the first live, so you can have a look on it after this one if you want. So for the best months to come in Mongolia, I would suggest July. Of course, the other side is that it will be crowded with tourists, because usually tourists come during this period. Also, the flight ticket will be more expensive. But I guess you can come starting from May until September. The weather will still be quite fine, not too cold. Of course, if you come in winter, you might see some temperature that will reach minus 30, 40, or eventually minus 50. So if you like cold weather, you can also come in autumn or in winter. That's also great to see the steppe with full of snow everywhere. That's also like quite a sight. So let's see. Trybal is asking question. What similarities are there between the French culture and the Mongolian culture? Did you recognize a cultural custom that was similar to your own? Oh, that's a very, very great question. To be honest, I think that French culture and Mongolian culture are like totally opposed to each other. If I take just the language, the structure of the sentence is opposite from French to Mongolian. The thing that we use, the tongue, the teeth, the throat, and everything that we use in French are not really used the same way in Mongolian. So it's very, very opposite. There is a lot of difference. Even the society mindset, the society philosophy, of course, in France, it's like a sedentary life, and in Mongolia, it's close to the nomadic life. So again, that's very opposite. So I couldn't really see custom or tradition or things in Mongolia that are really Mongolians. I'm not talking about the city life, because of course the city life is closer to what we have in France and in Europe or in the States, I guess. But when it comes to pure, if I could use that word, pure Mongolian tradition, I don't remember thinking, oh, that's just like we do in France. I don't remember that. So yeah, the two cultures are really opposed. So that's very challenging to understand how Mongolia works and how the culture is working, and so yeah, that's very interesting. I just saw that there is another question from Dioxide. How do you find rare Siberian instruments? I saw on your website that you managed to find someone a dombra, which surprised me. Well, actually, in Mongolia, there is few shops. There is actually one shop called Echiglin, which has a lot of partner in Kazakhstan, in Russia, and of course in Mongolia that sells, like you can see here, there is a Mongolian yatar. This is a dombra, but that's more like a souvenir instrument. And they have like yoching, they have erhu, they have even like aboriginal flute. I mean, they really have a lot of ethnic instrument. So that's not too hard to find. And as the dombr is from Kazakhstan, it's still close to, it's very close to Mongolia. So that's quite easy to find. And also they have a lot of Siberian harp, especially the Yakut one, the Saha. So it's not too difficult to find, as all these countries are neighbor. The trade and the exchange of instrument between the makers and everything is quite smooth. So to find an instrument, even if it's not in the shop, that's still possible to get in touch with the maker, to contact them, and to get the instrument to ship it abroad. So that's not that of a problem. Another question from Trybal is, have you ever visited Bayanolgi? Oh, sorry, the chat keeps disappearing. So, have you ever visited Bayanolgi and interacted with the Kazakhs there, listen to their Dombra folk music? Yeah, I went to Bayanolgi actually, but it wasn't too long. I went to Hoft a few times, and in Hoft there is a lot of Kazakh people actually. And one of the member of the oral community, the person that helps me translate from English to Mongolian and sometimes from Mongolian to English, is actually a Kazakh girl. So yeah, I know a little bit of the Kazakh custom. I really enjoy the music of Dombr. That's also again a very different style, a very different spirit, different soul, different kind of music. It's very, very interesting. Of course, I'm more into the Murderhor, but the Dombro also have very interesting stories. I know that there is kind of like legend that are being played by the dombre. It's not just it's not just simple melodies. So I guess at some point I would like to get more in depth in that instrument and understand what is actually behind the melodies, behind these effects, behind this very fast playing style and everything. So that's very interesting to hear, and then maybe make some comparison between the dombre and the merhoor, between the stories being said on the dombre and on the merhoor. So as it's geographically very close to each other, I'm pretty sure there is a lot of common point and things to join all together. So yeah, dombre and Kazakh culture is also quite interesting to me. Okay. What from Alpha? What is your favorite Mongolian style instrument and why? Well, this is an obvious answer. My favorite instrument is of course the merhoor, and my favorite style is Urtindo longsong. Why? That's because it's super spiritual. That's like meditative music. This long song Urtindo is absolutely incredible, and the magical feature of it is actually to accompany a singer. Usually, the merhoor accompany a singer, and these songs can last for quite a while. It's not just a 2, 3, 4 minute song. It's if it's sang fully, it's gonna be at least half an hour or 40 minutes or at least 20 minutes. So it's being focused and being connected with that person without cutting that connection, without having a break for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's a very deep meditation, I would say. And I don't know, that's very magical. Actually, the next episode of Into the Merhoor will be about Urtindo, so you will have quite a bunch of information about it. I hope to release the next episode on next Friday, so you will have more information about the Urtindo back then. Okay, so a question from Says, what got you to play the merhoor and how long have you played? So again, you can have a deep answer about that in the first live that was last week. And I've been playing for now almost 6 years, 6 years and almost 10 months, almost 7 years now. So, so yeah, that's it. I will get back to some questions that were asked on Discord, if you allow me. So, question from Zachungo. I hope that I said the name well. So the first question is, are you able to do Huumii? The question is, the answer is simple, no. I actually tried to learn the Huumii for a while, but I don't know, I don't have I like to listen to Huumii. Of course, this is very nice music, it's very interesting, but I don't know, I don't have the connection with it. I'm more like of a long song singer, I think. I'm not a singer yet, I'm still learning, but I feel more connected with the long song than with the Huumii. So sometime while I listen to Alash, I start to try to improvise and try to mimic what they are doing. Of course, I can't do it, so it's just gonna stay within my room. I'm not gonna share what thing I try to do there. But yeah, usually I'm just singing or trying to sing the Urtindo, the long song, kind of all the time. So I'm not too much into Huumii. Second question also from Zachungo. What is the difference between Igil and merhoor? Initially, I thought it was the shape of the body, but I've seen a few instruments with merhoor shaped bodies called Igil. Perhaps it has to do with the material used. So that's a very interesting question. Actually, the difference between the Merhur and the Igil, so I guess that you're talking about the Tuvan Igil. Of course, the shape is very different. The body of a Igil, of a Tuvan Igil, is made of only one piece of wood, when the body of the Merhur is built and kind of glued together. So that's the first difference. Nowadays, the Merhur tend to have a front in wood, when Igil still use a front made of skin, of leather. So actually on that subject, there is also an episode, I think it's episode 7 of Into the Merhur, that gives some insight of how the Merhur switched and evolved from having the skin front to the wooden front. So that's also something that you can dig a little bit in. And for the Merhur body-shaped Igil, actually in the West Mongolia, there is Merhur that are called Igil. So you can find information about that in the first episode of Into the Merhur. And the difference is that the Merhur now in 2020 tend to be full of wood, so wooden front, and the Igil would tend to have skin front. Also, another difference is that usually the string are reversed on the Igil Merhur. So the high string would be outside and the lower string would be inside. And I think that it's like that on the Tuvan Igil, but I'm not sure. But I think it's like that also. So that's the main difference. And also back in old time, the Mongolian Igil had no horse head. It was just square, or it wasn't specifically a horse head. There were also other kind of head, depending on who the instrument was dedicated to. So if it was a simple herder, or if it was a revered herder, or it was a prince, or there were like different head for different status in the Mongolian society back, I think like maybe 200 years ago or something like that. I read some paper about it, but it wasn't super detailed. So I think it's like in Sweden, there were some paper about that subject. So maybe I can find again the reference and post it on Discord. Maybe someone would actually have the full paper. That would be very interesting to read it totally. So I guess that answers the question about the difference between the Merhur, between the Merhur and the Igil, and why some instruments are called Igil even though they have a Merhur shape. So I hope that answers the question. And the last question from Zachungo is, have you ever played in a band or ensemble? And are there videos of this on the internet? So I actually played in little band with another foreigner guy named Anton that you might know. He's a Belgian guy. So we actually created a duo when we arrived in Mongolia. So that was very interesting. On the side, I also played in some little ensemble for tourist concert. So I played in that. I'm not sure there is that much video about that on YouTube. Maybe some private account kind of like took the video and posted on their YouTube or on their Facebook, but I'm not sure I have that much videos about that. And after that, I kind of decided to take the road of the traditional playing. So usually the traditional playing is kind of like a solo playing. So there were not really bands and orchestra back in old time. That was a very solo culture, kind of. So that's why now I'm mostly playing solo, or eventually I accompany Urtindochin, so long song singers, in some occasion. So yeah, that's kind of it. And I think I saw another question. So Trybal is asking a very sensitive question. Opinion about the Ho band. They are very famous overseas as a Mongolian folk rock band, but are they famous within Mongolia as well? Has it helped Mongolian people appreciate folk metal more? Okay, so that's a very sensitive question, and it's also a little bit political, so I will not get too much in depth in that subject. Um, Actually, the metal in Mongolia didn't start with the Huumii band. It started actually almost 15 years ago with Uirad, which is really like I think one of the best band in Mongolia. They really did a lot, and actually they had a very interesting way to mix the traditional music, put some metal on it. They created new music, they created new piece, and it was at least 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago. So they actually started the metal, the rock and roll, the Mongolian rock and roll kind of mix with the Huushuur and all other traditional instrument. So it didn't start with the Huumii band last year. That's something that is very important to know. And actually, there were another band that is very famous, Tengir Cavalry. And I think Robert is one of the crew member is there on the chat. They also did a lot, and I'm not sure when Tengir Cavalry started, but I think it's also quite a while ago, maybe 10 years or 7 years or something like that. So the Mongolian appreciate the rock, the metal for a while now, and it didn't started with the Huumii band. Then about how people likes this band. Usually when I meet more traditional people, they don't really like that band that much because they don't really reflect the Mongolian spirit that much. More young people, of course, will really like this band. So about the Huumii band, from what I could see and what I could hear, the opinions are very mitigated. Some really hate, some really dislike, some like, some loves. So it's super mainstream, it's super developed, and now it's super famous. Of course, there will be every opinions about it. So I prefer. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, but from a cultural point of view, I would say they are not that beneficial. From an artistic point of view, they are beneficial for sure. So everything has two sides. It's not just black or it's not just white. It depends on which point of view you're gonna look at them and you're gonna look at their music. So that would be my kind of short answer on the subject. Um, so, a question from Diexid. Ikili are made from a wood which I forgot the name of. If the wood was struck by a lightning, it is turned into a Huushuur Ikili for Keichi Altayan culture. Wow, that's super interesting. Okay, so definitely dioxide just like put some interesting information there. I hope that you are on the Discord because I would definitely like to talk about that a little bit more. I guess there is some legend with trees struck by lightning and creating Ikili or Huushuur. So as I'm not familiar right now on the subject, I will just spam you on Discord on the chat to get the information. So Steve again asked a question: do you play other instruments? I used to play guitar. I play a little bit of tor, play a little bit of Huushuur. I play some drums, some jaw harp, but mainly now it's the Huushuur. Oh, I play didgeridoo also a little bit. So yeah. I have a French question, so I might switch to French for a few seconds. Est-ce que vous êtes au courant des manifestations en Mongolie contre la nouvelle politique d'enseignement de la langue mongole du gouvernement chinois? Quel est votre avis? Okay, question from 3A. So I will answer quickly about that in French, and maybe I can also answer in English after because it's interesting. The question was about the protests that that are happening in Inner Mongolia, South Mongolia, about Chinese government that are kind of switching the teaching language from Mongolian to Chinese, to Mandarin language. So what is my opinion about it? Again, it's a very sensitive subject. It's political. First, I want to say, oh, sorry, I just switched to English. Donc, à propos de cette question, la première chose, c'est que c'est très sensible comme question. La deuxième chose, c'est que c'est politique. Et la dernière chose que je veux ajouter, c'est que je suis en Mongolie. Je n'ai pas tous les éléments à propos de ce sujet. Je ne sais pas exactement ce qui se passe en détail en Mongolie intérieure. À l'heure actuelle, j'ai vu plusieurs messages. Certains disent que la langue mongole est complètement bannie de la Chine. D'autres personnes disent que c'est certaines matières à l'école dans ces régions-là qui sont changées entre l'enseignement en mongol vers un enseignement en mandarin. Donc, qu'est-ce qui est en train de se passer exactement en Chine là à l'heure actuelle? Pour moi, c'est pas ultra clair. Donc c'est difficile d'émettre un jugement, d'émettre une opinion claire. Après, bien sûr, ce qui est sûr, c'est que si la langue mongole, donc la langue ouïghour, était amenée à être bannie complètement dans cette région du monde, en Mongolie intérieure, c'est un grand, 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 grand danger pour cette langue, car les Mongols intérieurs, c'est quand même des grands représentants de cette écriture, de cette langue. Ils sont beaucoup plus nombreux que les Mongols en Mongolie. Donc ça serait vraiment un coup super dur pour la culture, clairement, pour la langue. Donc c'est quelque chose, de mon point de vue, en tant que chercheur et un peu linguiste, etc., c'est quelque chose que je ne peux pas du tout admettre. C'est impossible de bannir une langue comme ça. Après, qu'est-ce qui est en train de se passer exactement? C'est aussi un peu difficile de savoir. Je peux peut-être donner quelques informations plus tard. Je suis dans une université où il y a quand même beaucoup de Mongols intérieurs qui vont arriver normalement d'ici 1 ou 2 semaines. Donc à ce moment-là, j'aurai des informations beaucoup plus concrètes de personnes qui étaient en Mongolie intérieure, qui vont arriver en Mongolie pour leur recherche d'ici 1 ou 2 semaines. Donc j'aurai des éléments beaucoup plus concrets et beaucoup plus réels de ce qui est vraiment en train de se passer, parce que bon, Facebook et tout ça, c'est pas, c'est parfois un peu censuré, c'est pas forcément la vraie vérité, entre guillemets. Donc, donc ouais, après, mon opinion, clairement, c'est quelque chose que je peux pas du tout admettre. J'ai absolument enfin, c'est de la condamnation directe du pays chinois. C'est impossible de bannir une culture comme ça. Après, en voyant ce qu'ils font déjà, ce qu'ils ont fait et ce qu'ils font avec le Tibet, avec les Ouïghours, c'est possible que les Mongols intérieurs soient leur prochaine cible. Donc vraiment, c'est essayer de faire ce qu'on peut pour soutenir et pour aider cette écriture, cette langue à rester vivante autant que possible. Parce que bon, c'est comme une écriture et une langue qui est magnifique. Donc, oui. Condamnation du pays chinois pour bannissement de langage et de culture, ça c'est absolument impossible, quoi. Donc, voilà à peu près pour mon opinion. J'espère que ça répond à la question. So I can briefly. Wow, there is a lot of comment and lot of question. So I can briefly give my opinion about this subject in Inner Mongolia. So definitely, I'm condemning this Chinese government that seems to be trying to ban the Mongolian language in lesson for Mongolians. So as I was saying, that's very difficult to know exactly what is going on, because I see multiple opinion and multiple information. Some says that it's a total super drastic ban. Some says that it's just a switch of language in some of the lesson that are being taught. So that's a big difference between a full ban of Mongolian culture and just the switch from Mongolian to Mandarin language in some lessons. So I'm not really exactly sure of what is going on. And as I was saying, in my university, in 1 or 2 weeks, there should be a bunch of Inner Mongolians that will come for their studies, for their research. So I will definitely ask them what is going on there. So I will have a more real opinion and more real information about that subject. But for sure, I'm for the Mongolian culture. I'm for the Mongolian bichik, the Mongolian writing. So we must do whatever we can to support that language, to support this beautiful writing, to support the people there, spread information, spread as much right and true information as we can. And we need to learn that language also. So that's what I would say about that. Okay, so there is a lot of question going on there. So another from Trybal: are Motorhorse cheap enough within Mongolia as compared to having them shipped to Europe? Asking because it almost sounds cheaper to visit Mongolia and buy one there instead of online. Well, actually, that's pretty true. The shipping cost is sometimes more expensive than the instrument. So if you plan to come in Mongolia, if you have a few, maybe 200 or 300 bucks in your pocket, then come in Mongolia, buy the instrument directly here, and it's gonna be much more interesting because the shipping cost is really expensive. So yeah, that would be smart to do it like that. Hello, Emirhan from Turkey. And yeah, it's a dombra, but a souvenir dombra. It was given to me during a Tsahansar because I went to play Meruhur for a family. And after playing, they were so happy, they just gave me this dombra. So that was really nice from them. Been looking for a dombra forever, but I don't have a credit card, neither does my mother. Okay, some text. Okay, so I will finish with the question that were coming from Discord because it's already been, wow, 40 minutes. And I have actually a surprise for you guys. So I will now get only on the Discord last question, and then we will be able to finish. So last question is from Bjorn, also from Discord. How come some Meruhur have a blue scarf around the neck? Does that mean anything special? So this question I've been asked millions of times. And of course there is a meaning. So it relates in all time, and from the information that I'm gonna give you right now, it's from my own research, my own information, my own encounter and interviews. So there is multiple beliefs behind it. So take what I'm gonna say very carefully. That's very important. So about this Hadag, the scarf. So it's called Hadag. It was, I will start to show you actually. So that's the modern version, if I could say. This is influenced by the Buddhism. There is 5 colors. Each colors have a meaning, of course. So the first one is green, that's the soil, that's the ground. The red one is the fire which is on the ground. So you can see the 5 color. The white that is in the middle symbol is the symbol of the milk, of purity. So if you know Mongolian, they make offering of milk to the nature. So this white hatak is the symbol of that. Then the yellow one is the symbol of the intelligence, of the knowledge. It's usually very close to the teachers. When we want to ask a teacher to teach us to be, if we want to become the student of one teacher, we should give a yellow hadak when we make this request. And then the blue one, so you can see that this blue is very vivid. The blue one is the symbol, of course, of Tingir and of the sky. So that's for the modern kind of version of these scarves. And back in time, it wasn't called hadak, it was called sambe. It was very small. It was maybe like this size, maybe like a A4 paper size, and it was another color. So I will actually maybe show you on this mirror. So that's my first one. So you can see that the color is very different. So it still has a scarf format because it's adapted with these modern coats, but the color is more like a grayish blue, and it was called sambe. It relates to a custom in Mongolia, which is when a horse or an animal performs well, we usually, I mean, Mongolians usually put a hadak, put a sambe on the mane of the horse. So if the horse worked well, maybe for 10 years, okay, now it's kind of like the horse gonna retire. So the owner of the horse gonna make some kind of little ritual and will put the sambe on the mane of the horse, which will represent that the horse is now free, can just do whatever he wants, and the owner just gonna handle the horse once a year, kind of like make him make it gallop super fast to give it some boost, and maybe how to say cut a little bit the mane so it doesn't have the hair in the eyes and stuff like that, but it's just gonna be touched only by the owner once a year. So it's kind of like this horse worked well, did well, because maybe he won also many competitions in the Nadam or in horse race. So that's like the meaning of these scarves that are on the Merhur. So it's a custom called Setirlik. So that's the meaning of that. So usually, actually, we should put a hatak only when the Merhur is not really played anymore. So for example, you see on my Merhur here that the hatak is put on the Merhur because now this Merhur is kind of like my god, my worship symbol. So I play it only once in a while. That's why I did put the hatak here, and it's in the honoring part of the yurt. So some peoples actually put hatak on the Merhur because it's also looking very nice. It's more like a fashion trend sometime, but from the cultural point of view, that's a little bit weird to play a Merhur with the hadak, especially in concert and stuff like that, because it should mean that the hadak is like a deity symbol. So it should not just be played like that. So I hope that answers the questions about this hatak. So of course nowadays people like fashion things a lot and mix things and do kind of like modern mix and all that, but usually that's the meaning of this scarf. I actually plan to do a special episode about the hadak, about those scarves a little bit later, to explain in depth the meaning of each of the 5 colors and explain maybe a little bit more also this legend, this custom with this hadak on the horse and sometimes on goats or on other animals. And the very last question, what are the other instruments in the background called? So you can see here, there, that there is a dom. So it's a Kazakh dom, but as I said, it's a very souvenir like it's not a real instrument. It's more to decorate the inside of my gear. Then here the long one is a yatak. So it's like a harp, Mongolian harp, but it's also a very simple one. It's more for decoration purpose. Then here we have another Merhor Igil, which is also with skin here. So that's my first instrument. And here there is a Huushuur, so a Satslak Huushuur, Satsal Huushuur, sorry, like that. And for those who might not know what is a Satslak, it's this tool which is used by Mongolian to take the milk and to make the offering to the sky. So I will also explain a little bit later in detail the symbol, the different meanings behind this very specific shape. You can also see that this instrument is made from a single piece of wood. There is no glue, there is no connection or anything. It's very solid, and it's only one piece of wood. So here we are. And now for the surprise, because I have a surprise for you guys. My teacher, actually, the person who taught me to make Merhor, so my teacher Huumii, just finished a new Merhor, and he gave it to me so I can play it and make the sound get open. But it's a very, very, very awesome instrument. So here is for the head, but you might be a little bit surprised when you will see the body. It's made of snake skin. So this is pretty awesome and pretty rare. So you can see how the finish, it's like a mirror. You can see my window there. So that's his last creation. So this is like freaking awesome. So I will use that instrument now and show you a bit how it sounds. So I will just put the camera a little bit further. Okay, I guess that should be enough like that. Okay. And I will use the opportunity also to remind you of something for the people who are starting to learn the Merhor, because I have these questions and I see that a lot. A lot of people are rushing too much into the left hand if you are right-handed. A lot of people tend to forget that the bow is super important. So before rushing playing melodies very fast, sometimes even the first day, you should get the feel and get the touch with the bow first. So I already explained that a little bit in my Into the Merhor show. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th episode. But that's very important that you play very slowly. Oh, I will put that a little bit further. That you play very slowly and that you pay attention to your wrist. So very slowly, very softly. You can even take a little break here to feel this wrist movement. Then you switch your wrist and then you go back. Then you can breathe a little bit and switch. And do that really to feel this wrist movement, because I see a lot of people playing like that, with the shoulder very stiff, with the elbow very stiff, with the wrist very stiff, and that's not how you're gonna perform and learn quickly. So it's very important to stay relaxed, to focus on the bow more than focus on the left hand, because in the end, the bow is like 70%, maybe more than 70% of the melody, of the sound of the song. So the more you're gonna focus and the more your bow gonna be stable and steady, the faster you're gonna learn. So it's best to take a little bit more time in the beginning to focus on the bow, to focus on the bow techniques, and then you can get with this hand, because the bow not gonna get against this left hand, because it's gonna be stable and you will be able to be comfortable, kind of like a reflex. At some point, you're not even gonna feel the bow anymore. And then once you reach that point, this left hand it's just gonna evolve super quick. But in the other hand, if the bow is very stiff, the sound not gonna get out, and then it's gonna be much more difficult to learn a melody with this left hand. So take more time, relax more with this bow hand, practice more bow hand, and this melody thing gonna get much more quickly. So now I will show you a little bit a medley of kind of like an improvisation of different things on this melody to give you an idea of the sound. And if ever you are interested into buying this instrument, you can get in touch with me on Discord, mostly on Discord, or eventually on Facebook or on my website, through my website. I'm not sure about the price yet, because my teacher is actually not sure about the price yet. So, but if you are interested into playing, into buying this instrument, you can get in touch with me and we will discuss about it. So let's play a little bit. I will make a mix of different things so you can have an idea how it reacts with the different styles. thanks for listening. So I guess that you can hear that the sound is pretty awesome, pretty amazing. It's very easy to play. It's very comfortable. The sound is very warm. The I don't know. It's really cool. So what I can do, maybe I can play another song in the fifth tune. If you want to hear one more. So I can play again this Durvun Oirad Bii, which I played in the first live. But so you will be actually able to compare in the first live with my instrument how it was and how it is with this one. So let's go for it. I will drink some tea first. That's cool. Okay, Durvun Oirad Bii. So that was part of the Durvun Oirad Bii. So I think that's it for today's live. It actually lasted for an hour now. I didn't expect it to be that long. So okay, let me put the camera again. So whoa, seems there is a lot of message there. So I want to hear 10 more. Okay. Maybe you can talk for a moment about the interesting fretting technique. So Alpha asked that, please come on Discord and put your question on Discord. I will answer in the next live because now it's been an hour. So usually I thought I would make 30-minute lives, and actually it lasts for more. So please put your question on Discord and I will answer it in the next live next Saturday. Is it possible to make a murder horse sound like an huurs? It's totally possible. Actually, in a Mongolian, murder horse sounds a little bit like a huurs. Turn it up. Just turn it up. Extreme high pitch. Yeah, totally. That's exactly like that. Is that his right or left hand controlling right now? I can tell. It's actually both. Okay, I'm just checking if there is anything. Okay, hello Owen, how are you? Okay, so to finish this live, let me see. Okay, so to finish this live, first information, the next live gonna be again next Saturday, same time. I was a little bit late today, I think, but it's around 7:30 a.m. on Saturday, Mongolian time. The next Into the Motherhood episode should be out next Friday. It's almost finished. There is few stuff I need to still find and put some motion design and stuff, but the next episode is like 70-80% done right now. So it should be out next Friday. I will really do my best to make the next episode go out Friday. I've seen some people being a little bit, how to say, worried, like asking, hey, what's going on with the Into the Murder show? Are you stopping making videos and stuff like that? No, I'm not stopping doing videos. I still do videos. I will still keep doing it as long as I can, and I will still share what I learn, what I know as much as I can. But you have to know that I do everything on my own. I don't have any financial support except for the few person that are actually subscribing on my website and that are giving money every month. So just for your information, I earn 60 euro per month with the subscription. So I kind of live with 60 euro a month. So that's my steady income right now. So I also have a master on the way in the university, and I need to pay my school, of course, and I need to find some ways to earn a bit of money, because 60 euro right now, it's not enough to keep going. So that's why making the episode are taking a little bit of time, because I need to work a little bit on the side and all that. So eventually, gradually, there will be enough donation and enough subscription, so I would be able to focus and do this show, do the cultural spreading 100%. So if you wish actually to support, to make a donation and so on, you can go on my website. There is a single donation, recurring donation. Every information is in the description. You can check it out. I will also make a channel for this information on Discord. So you can join Discord also to ask questions for the next live. And also know that if you subscribe on my website, you will access VIP kind of like secret channel on Discord where we have more in-depth conversation. I will also take care of your specific question answer with videos. So that's kind of it. Also, another way to support is to buy Huushuur from me. Buy some calligraphies. There is a shop on my website as well. You can buy photographies, calligraphies, a little bit of music. So there is multiple way for you if you wish to contribute to support what I do. Every single dollar, every single penny are really worth it. Like, believe me, it means a lot to me financially and morally, because it's also very great morally in terms of motivation to know that there is people actually giving money in that purpose. So it's not just a money thing, it's also for the motivation and for the, how to say, I have the word in Mongolian, for the spirit, for the mindset, I would say. So I guess that's it. Oh yeah, I see. I have a last thing. I have actually one proposition for you guys. I had an idea because the next episode of Into the Huushuur will be about Urtindo, will be about long song. And what I was thinking, it was to actually post maybe every day one video of my Urtindo long song practice. So the idea is that I just put one of my long song, the one I have in my library. I think I have like 200 or 300 songs. So the idea is to put randomly one, make the video and just follow the Urtindo. So that would be like that's what I do anyway. That's my daily practice. So that might not be perfect because sometimes I learn, sometimes I don't know the songs, sometimes that's just the first time I play the song. So the idea would be maybe every day, take a random song, make a little video. So maybe not a live, just a video like this format, no fancy things, just put the music, play, record, and every day one song. So sometime one Urtindo can be 3-4 minutes because nowadays long song singers are not singing the full songs, but the idea is also I have some recording of full length Urtindo which are 30-40 minutes, so I would make the following for the 30-40 minutes. So please leave in the comment below if this idea is pleasing to you, if it's interesting, if you'd like to see my everyday Urtindo practice in videos, even if it's not perfect. That would be also maybe for you the occasion to hear different kind of Urtindo, different kinds of new melodies maybe. So put your idea about it if you like that in the comments, and then I will start I guess after the release of the next episode. So I would start I guess next weekend. So time for me to find maybe how to put it and practice a little bit. So I guess that's it for today's episode. I guess that's it for today's live. I hope that you enjoyed it. That lasted a little bit longer than expected, but there were quite a lot of people today and a lot of interesting questions. So I think that's it. And until next time, may the blessing of the eternal blue sky be upon you. Bye-bye.